Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ginger Broderick, and I'm the host of the Ginger New York TV show. Welcome to Ginger Fridays here at M&N TV Studios. We are live here in New York City, so welcome. I also want to welcome the viewers on My Jam Music Network. It's a web TV program all around the world, so thank you very much all for joining in today. We have the most wonderful music director imaginable. Even back in the 70s, she was a trailblazer, one of the first women as a musical director. Her name is Aziza Miller. She has an amazing career. She's a composer. She was a longtime music director for Natalie Cole. She's worked on Broadway. She's an educator. She's a mom. She's a grandmother. We're so blessed to have her here today, and she's going to be performing a little bit later on the show, so make sure you stay around. Welcome, Aziza Miller.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
And we have co-host extraordinaire, Alex Alexander.
I'm back again.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Ginger. Hey, Aziza.
Hey.
Now be nice to her. I was watching you guys before the show. You were doing a lot of teasing back and forth.
I've known Aziza for a
Long time, forever.
Yes. We've worked together.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes. And I've seen your name in the papers for so many years, and I kept saying, I gotta see this woman. I gotta see her. And then next thing you know, you're my guest.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's good to be here.
Thank you so much for
Thanks
coming
for having
in.
me.
Yes. And I appreciate you coming in. Just an amazing career that I had a chance to do a lot of research on you during the last week. And you were one of the first musical directors back in the 70s. God
Yes.
bless you.
Thank you.
So you've seen so many changes in the music industry and performances. And what is one of your most memorable experiences during your
As an
career?
MD? Actually, I think it was the very first time I conducted. It was here in New York. It's at the Winter Garden.
Oh.
And Natalie Cole had been employing other MDs prior to me, and they weren't working out. So I remember this vividly. After a show, she was literally exasperated because the guy kept missing cues, and it just didn't work. So she passed me by at the piano after the show, and she looked at me and she said, "Do you know how to conduct?"
Wow.
And I looked up and I said, "Yes."
Oh.
And that's how it all started.
Wow.
So when we did our debut here in New York, it was at the Winter Garden. Herbie Hancock was backstage.
Oh.
And he cheered me on.
Oh.
He really did. And I stood for the first time in front of 150 musicians, you know, who I'd rehearsed with. You know, I didn't just do it cold, but we rehearsed. But the night of the show was one of the most memorable and joyous experiences, and unnerving, you know, unnerving, but once you get into it, into that flow, it just flows.
Alex and I are doing a series on session musicians, and it's amazing the amount of education and training and experience that you have for that one moment.
Yes, yes.
And it's like you prepare, like one of the keyboardists that you had said he was ready before attention came to him.
Right.
You know,
right.
And you have to prepare for decades for that one moment that could be, you know,
life-changing. I went to, talking about preparation, at Manhattan School of Music was where I learned how to conduct. And the teacher was Anton Coppola. I believe he's the brother of Ford Coppola, the director. I think it's his brother.
Francis Ford.
Francis, yes, thank you. But we didn't have people to conduct to. We had chairs, empty chairs. But he would teach us the ins and outs. You have to know how to read a score and interpret and stuff like that. So when you're actually in front of real people, it's like, this is what it's about.
So that prepared you for
It did prepare
that
me,
moment
yes,
with
because you
Natalie.
learn how to read the scores, you know, because you have everybody's part in front of you. Cue them in, cue them out, dynamics, tempos, everything. You know, you're driving this huge machine, and then you have the rhythm section. And I played piano too, so it was just a lot going on at the same time. But thanks to Manhattan School of Music, I did get a very solid training.
Wonderful.
Very happy for it.
So was that the beginning of your partnership with Natalie, or did that come later?
It came after a little later, yeah, because we had initially it was just band
Right.
without the, augmentation of orchestra. So this came a little bit later. Once her career bumped up and the Grammy nominations started, then everything started to expand.
The Grammy nomination was for which song or which album?
Thankful. Thankful. That's the one with This Will Be and I'm Catching Hell. And
You were a composer for her as well, co-writer for some songs?
I co-wrote with Nat, We wrote a song together that's called a classic, happy to say. It's called La Costa. And Alex knows it very well because we played it together in Japan.
It's one of my favorite songs.
Yes. And she wrote the lyric, I wrote the music, and the rest is history. We recorded it on her Thankful album. And
What was the inspiration for that song initially?
initially, the inspiration musically for me was traveling outside of the United States. We had gone to South America, and it was my first time out of this country. And I had never seen such beauty, the blue, really blue water, and the greenery was really green, and the sky, all of that. So when I came back home to Queens, where I was living at the time, in the concrete, I was still full of that experience. And I always remember, I sat at the piano one day, and I just started scatting. And the chords came, and everything just flowed. As a composer, you just love those moments. When it just flows out of you, you know it's right. My dad came downstairs because he heard me playing this over and over again. He says, "Hey, baby, where'd you hear that song?" Because he thought I heard it and was copying it. I said, "Daddy, I just wrote it." He says, "It's beautiful." He said, "You ought to take it to Natalie and let her hear it." And that's what I did. And she heard it.
Excellent.
And, I want to write the words. And it's a beautiful marriage, musical marriage.
Wow. You have
That-
great friends, Alex.
By the way, that song is on YouTube, and
Yes.
there's a video with a whole bunch of pictures of the coast and
Yes.
Caribbean.
Oh, yes.
And you can hear it there if you look it
Yes.
up on YouTube.
Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
You also worked with Ahmad
Ahmad.
Jamal.
Yes. Oh, that's another high point in my career. Ahmad Jamal calls me on the phone. Now, he and I met because of La Costa. After Natalie recorded it and put it out there, then so many other artists heard it, loved it, and re-recorded it. So Ahmad and the arranger, Richard Evans, strings and horns, he was one of the best. So anyway, Richard tells me, Ahmad wants to meet with you. He wants to talk to you about writing, So long story short, you get a phone call from Ahmad Jamal, and he says, "I have 4 compositions. They don't have words, but I'm wondering if you would be willing to check them out." I said, "Of course I will." So he sent them to me. I listened, loved them, started writing. Okay, Ahmad, they're done. Let me know if you like what I put to them.
Did you put the words?
I put the words. I started writing lyrics after a while. And long story short, I sent it back. He listened. He loved it. He sent a limousine for me. He picked me up. We went to the studio. We recorded. Then he says to me, "Oh, yeah, and I want you to sing on this one." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, I want you to sing on." So the song was called My Latin. O.C. Smith sung on the song called Whisperings. So those are my lyrics and his music.
Wonderful.
It's amazing.
Are the lyrics from real life experiences?
The lyrics were from what I got from the music.
Right.
Because this was different. Unlike when I write, I'm writing from my personal experiences, but this was somebody who gave me something that was coming from him.
Right.
So I wanted to write a lyric that would complement where he was. And that's how that happened.
And I understand you're an educator for Alicia Keys as well.
I was an educator for Alicia Keys, and many, so many talented kids came from the Professional Performing Arts School, PPAS. And I had to audition children from different feeder schools, And she was one of the students, and I heard her, and I said, "Oh, she's got something special," you know.
Wow.
So she was in my choirs. We went to Rome, sung for the Pope. We sung with Gloria Gaynor. We sung with Miriam McKeebum. We sung with Marvin Hamlish. And he said to me, speaking of conducting, right? I said, "So, Marvin, should I play the piano on your song, or do you want me to direct?" He says, I'll play the piano. You're a much better conductor than I am." This is from Marvin Hamlish.
Wow.
So it was good. It was
Excellent.
good. Yeah.
You also received an award from the Kennedy.
It was during President Clinton's administration,
Right.
and it's called the Presidential Scholar Distinguished Teacher Award.
That was
serious.
97?
That was 97.
Yeah.
The year that I got accessed from the school and was replaced by computers.
Oh,
Yeah, but it balanced out.
yeah.
Yeah.
What
because
an award to have.
It's beautiful.
It's like all the teachers, right? You're
50 of us,
there are 50 of you.
one teacher from every state.
Oh,
and I was
interesting.
New York.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
not an easy feat.
No, we were
No.
nominated by students
Okay.
who submitted an essay about their favorite teacher, the one who influenced them the most, and why. And so I was selected based upon an essay that a student wrote about his relationship with working with me as his teacher.
That's really amazing. How did they know to write that essay? Did they come up with the idea, or is
No.
there a program?
There was a program, which I don't remember, you know, what it was, but there was a program. It was unbeknownst to me because I didn't even know that this was going down. I got a letter in the mailbox, and I said, "What is this?"
From the White House?
Yeah,
Wow.
you know, so
That's
It's
great.
good. It's blessings.
So what are you up to these days?
everything. I'm currently working with some wonderful, wonderful musicians. I'm so blessed. Writing a lot. As a matter of fact, one of the musicians that I'm working with is here with us today. We're going to play a little later, along with you, Alex.
And that is Calvin X.
Calvin Jones.
Calvin X. Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great
he's a
bass
bass
player.
player. He's extraordinary.
He gave me a couple of lessons before.
All right.
Yeah, I told him
All
I'm
right.
studying the bass guitar. And he
Yes.
gave me a couple of pointers that it's going to supersonic my career.
Yeah, yeah. You know,
So-
it isn't easy. There's so many great, great musicians out here.
Yeah.
The thing is finding the ones that work for you and what you're trying to do. So I find that with the musicians that I'm working with here today and in these various venues are the right ones for what I do, because I write a lot of original music. Horace Silver, I just want to say this really quickly. Horace Silver was the person that influenced me, I believe, the most out of all the composers, because I dug the fact that he wrote all of his songs. His songs became standards and are standards. He published his own music. He was a businessman and a primo musician. And I want to pattern myself after that. I love writing so much that that's what gives me pleasure, because I want to express my soul and through the music. So for me to sit and play other standards entirely is not what I enjoy doing. I enjoy giving people who I am, you know, so.
And you're going to be doing a song dedicated to Horace Silver.
Yes, I am. I am. The song is called A Song for Silver, and it's on my current CD, which is entitled, what is it called? This Journey of Love.
Yes.
We were talking about that before the show.
Yes. And the other song that we're going to do is not from the current CD, but it's a previous CD where I'm splinging.
Splinging.
Yes.
I don't know that term.
Oh, do you know what splinging?
How do you tell people how you spell it?
S-P-L-I-N-G-I-N-G.
Okay.
Yeah.
Splinging, I guess, comes from the Latin term, the Latinos like to say, spling it to me.
No, not quite. This is something that I came up with because people say, "Oh, do you sing? Oh, do you sing? Are you a singer?" And I never feel comfortable with that title. No, No, I do not sing, I spling. So what splinging is the S and the P is for speaking,
Oh, okay.
right? And the L is for love, and the inging is for the singing part.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
Thank you.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
And she's great at it. She's really great
It's
at
like
it.
poetry to music, but you're splinging. You're half singing, half talking.
That's really exciting.
Thank you.
When I was doing my research, I didn't know what you did in your early life and what made you select the piano over. Did you
Yes.
come from a musical family that influenced you?
Did you have a love for another instrument before the piano, or was it the piano, and when did that happen?
The piano happened when I was 8. My mother experimented with a couple of things. Ballet, which was a disaster. I wasn't interested in it. Voice lessons, wasn't interested in it. And I lived with my godmother for a year. And during that time, she had a piano.
Oh, wow.
That's how that happened. I fell in love with it, and I've been playing it ever since. Don't ask me how long. Long time.
Did she show you some?
No, because she didn't play. Now, my grandmother played, my dad played, but my godmother didn't play, but she had the piano, so I figured it was meant, you know?
Right.
For you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then as I got older, I'm a daddy's girl, and Daddy loved big bands and stuff like that. He loved jazz, and I remember anything I watched my father groove to, I would groove to, because
Oh,
Daddy
wow.
was
Yeah.
grooving, you know.
Yeah.
Daddy loved saxophone, so I loved saxophone in addition to the piano. So I started actually playing alto sax when I was in the 9th grade, put it away after college, but I have since revisited the alto sax. So those are my two instruments.
Good for you. Wonderful. Well,
Excellent.
it's about that time for the
Okay.
performance.
Okay.
So
All right.
if you want to head over to the stage, we'd love.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to spling a little bit first. This composition is called His Eyes. Everybody ready? Yep. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Da 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 da. His eyes test, impress, and caress me. Playfully hiding and seeking in the corners of my willing but occasionally rough side of the mountain. His eyes give me love and replies, Aziza, keep the change. Even when situations get a little strange, he maintains respect, and that is good. And he protects my name, as he should. For he and I are like blue as the sky, like what is to why, like fireworks that fly on the 4th of July. And we connect like a fishnet, like a Siamese brain, like giant steps in John Coltrane, like paper and pen, like the closest of friends, like again and again, like me liking him, like when I blush and grin, like I was sweet 16 again. His eyes excite me, invite me, delight me. His eyes intrigue me, believe me, he needs me. His eyes, they truly get to me. They soothe me, embrace me, persuade me, awake me, come take me, ooh, baby. His eyes are the inspiration behind this verbal orchestration of poetic articulation. Approved by the declaration of my thoughts to paper translations, motivated by conversational copulations, bringing me to the realization that my love for this brother is unlike any other. For I find I'm professing and confessing in languages never known, heard, or even seen before. Ah, mi amor. I could sing him like a Bach cantata. I could sip him like a pina colada. Fly him I'm like an F-16. Make love to him as he dreams. For we stay for the pleasure of just being together. Whatever it means, wherever it flies, forever it seems is in his eyes. Excite me, I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it. His eyes intrigue me, believe me, he needs me. His eyes, they truly get to me. They soothe me, embrace me, persuade me, awake me, come take me, ooh, baby. Embrace me, persuade me, awake me, come take me, ooh, baby. He's the photograph to my frame, the signature beside my name. He makes my butterfly, makes me utter me, oh my. It all started with his eyes. Ooh. Okay. A song for Silver, in memory of Horace Silver. Ready?